All right, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
You sure you're ready, Hassan?
Let me just text my mom real quick.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I think we should be recording while he's texting his mother.
Hey.
Let me know when you're ready.
And good.
Welcome to Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast, a multi-generational discussion of movies.
Welcome to the party, pal!
I'm Ralph Quartucci.
I'm Sean Paul Murphy.
I'm Hassan.
What's your last name?
I'm Hassan.
Yeah, last week you did Hassan, and you just went with Hassan this time.
He's Madonna.
But you're okay, what's your name?
I'm Al.
Just Al. So we got two Justs. I'm just Al, I'm just Hassan.
Or is it Al?
Okay. So here we are. This is a multi-generational discussion of movies. So we got two old guys and two young guys. Right now we have no guests on this particular podcast. Sometimes we bring people in.
The guests really add a lot.
They really do, as you saw from the last one. So here we are, and today's movie is from Sean Paul Murphy, and I'll let him tell us what the movie is, and then we'll play a preview of the movie, and Sean will do some descriptions.
Well, the original concept of this series was to do a lot of overlooked films from the 70s before we went to the multi-generational thing. So I decided to bring in Marathon Man, and what too far overlooked
How timely.
film.
Very timely.
Yeah, a very timely film, as we will find out. And Marathon Man is about a graduate student played by Dustin Hoffman, who finds himself at the center of international intrigue and fugitive Nazis and dentistry in a thriller directed by John Schlesinger. And one of the reasons I really like this film is because this is a film that would never get made today, because it is too complicated, it's too long, it's too labyrinth, and there are just many reasons why this film would never get made. And
You mean never get made, not remade, just
made
in general?
It would just never get made, no, because it takes too long. I mean,
really?
you don't
Have
even
you
see
seen-
Zelda 33 minutes into the film, and the whole opening is with two characters you never see.
I know.
You have a 5-minute opening with characters you never see.
brutal.
All right, well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
But before we do that, we're going to play a preview, and here's the preview.
And 17-year-old girls, watch out.
Whoever killed him will probably want to speak to you.
I don't know anything.
I'd like to use you as possible bait.
Is it safe? Is it safe?
No, it's not safe. It's very dangerous.
I'm positive your brother meant to rob me when I leave the bank with my diamonds.
Oh, I don't know anything. Is it safe?
What's missing in this trailer? No narration?
Yeah,
No. Dustin Hoffman.
I hated that.
Laurence Olivier.
In a world.
Marathon Man.
There it is.
There's your
Voiceover.
The
voice.
voiceover marathon.
Wow. I mean, come on. Even that, the audience would walk out on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Marathon Man. So sell it to us.
Sell us to us. Okay, for one thing, it was based on a book by
William Goldman.
William Goldman, who was a novelist before he became a multi-Oscar winning screenwriter.
And he's a good screenwriter.
And he's a great novelist,
really?
too. I've read a number of his books
Is
when I
he
was a teenager.
as good as Akiva Goldsmith?
He is much better than Akiva Goldsman.
Who's that?
He is 1,000 times better than Akiva Goldsman.
Okay.
He's a hack screenwriter.
Oh.
Sorry, he's a great producer now. One day he may be reading one of my scripts. Akiva Goldsman is perhaps one
That's
of the
for
great
Sean.
geniuses of Hollywood today. Okay, but let's go back to William Goldman. So he
wrote this is based on this is a
the book
a
on
novel?
his own book.
Oh.
I read the book before I saw the movie. I did not see this movie in the theaters because it was rated R, and my neighborhood theater had closed. They would have let me in anyway, but
How
I
old
did
were
not
you?
see. I would have been 16 when this film came out. And I don't know why it was rated R. Maybe the violence.
There
Well,
are
there's
naked
some-
breasts
there are
in
some
the
breasts.
film.
What was the naked breast? I
They
forget.
have
when
the
they're-
one sex scene they have.
When she's like, again?
Yeah.
Are we really going to go
Oh,
again?
okay.
I thought they said I can't. She said again.
She said
No.
no. She said again. I can't.
Oh, I thought he said I can't. Okay,
Oh, he
doesn't
always
matter.
could. And we see his butt in the bathroom
Yeah.
scene, which maybe I was spared.
So
by
this
not
is
seeing.
another 70s.
Paranoid. I think to me what I enjoy most about the 70s.
By the way, I was going to say I love this movie. as everybody probably knows by now. Our fourth podcast in, or I don't know how many we're in.
Third or fourth.
This is right in my wheelhouse. It's 70s. It's real. It's paranoia.
Yeah, and one thing, there was always suspicious. This is like 3 Days of Condor.
Right.
Suspicion of the government. There was also a number of Nazi films at the same time. Boys from Brazil.
Well,
Odessa
Boys from
Five.
Brazil came out after this.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
this
Lawrence
was like,
Olivier
yeah.
played the good guy in that one.
Yeah. He didn't get to play. Yeah, he plays Simon Wiesenthal
Right.
or something in that one. But I mean, there was a lot of Nazi stuff going on. There's a lot of spy paranoia. I really like the, if this podcast continues on, you'll see that I usually hate long films. I like succinct films, but this one,
It's 2 hours and 5 minutes long.
yeah,
It's not
but I
that
mean,
long
Yeah.
It
It
is.
doesn't feel that long.
compared to the.
No, it feels way longer.
We haven't heard your takes on it, but
Yeah, but to me, it's what is less than the length is the fact that there are a lot of characters with a lot of motivations. It's more complicated than most films today. Most films, it's sort of like you just got to see what uniform, what the superhero is. You
Right.
can tell whether they're good or bad, and then you just let them fight it out. And then they're always, that thing is like, am I going to go with my own power or am I going to be with the team? And then that's the point.
well,
of
I
most
mean,
films now.
we can't every movie we can't compare to superhero movies. They have their own. I mean, it's like
Well, we were
we've done
comparing
that.
Birdman to superhero movies.
Well, because that's based on a superhero that he played. I mean, come on, let's be real. They can't. The reason they won't make movies like this anymore is nobody will sit through them
Yeah.
in a movie theater. Now you might get more. What they would do with a movie like this is turn it into a series on Netflix,
Yeah, exactly.
which people will sit through. You'll binge watch that.
The English will still make films. The English still make some good spy movies based on like.
Well,
Le
I
Carre.
love that Tinker Tailor.
Yeah, that
which
was-
nothing goes
Tinker
on in that
Tailor
movie.
Soldier Spy.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
What did I call it?
I don't know.
A
What's
poet,
that?
a
Tinker,
prophet,
Tinker,
a
Tinker,
prince.
Tinker.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. No, the Tinker. What is it?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Love that
Yeah,
movie.
that was like what 3 years.
Don't
4
know the
years
title.
Ago?
Love them. Yeah, it's a couple 4 years ago.
Yeah, and that's slower than this.
Oh,
That's
much
a
slower.
lot slower.
There's stuff
than
that goes on in this one. All right. Well, okay. So
But here's another thing. Another thing I really like about this film is that it's slow at times, but the violence is usually very sudden and very real and very ugly. Like when he gets jumped from behind and he gets he blocks the
the guy trying
the
to
nylon
assassinate.
thing.
The garrote.
Yeah, and he hurts the rest. Like that's a realistic
What-
fight. And he
the-
hurts the rest of the film.
The one
Yes.
thing I like about that is you see him karate chop the dude, and he reacts in pain.
That it hurts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where
Where
James Bond would never do
Yeah.
that.
Nobody does that anymore. Guys get shot and they're running around doing.
Yeah.
No, that I was going to bring that up later when we get into it. But that scene where he's doing push-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, Roy Scheider was in great shape anyway.
Yeah, my
But
God.
you go watching this it's all based in like real. And you're right. When he karate chops the guy, he winces in pain. He's hurt. It hurts him.
Yeah.
And he does it through the whole movie. So
And I also really like the way too, but maybe it's too soon, is Schlesinger steps out of it. Like we're watching that fight, we're watching it from across the street. The old
Right.
man and no one sees
Witnesses,
it.
right.
But you see like blood splatter up onto those
Right.
like shears and all. And I just love some of these like reaction shots. Like at the very beginning when the two guys first get into the road rage incident. And like the first thing you hear of music is like just watching some guys just watching these two crazy old men. And
well,
there's-
again, like I said, it's my wheelhouse because it seemed very natural. Like
yeah.
I don't
It's
know if
another
those,
New York film, just like our
exactly.
film.
I don't know if those
Can
were.
I just mention, out of the 4 films we're going to review for our first 4 films, 3 of them take place in New York City.
That's
True.
right.
You're right. We
So-
don't know where the 4th one takes place because that's next week for you. But
Yeah.
yeah, it takes place somewhere.
Yeah.
Very realistic, which
Yeah.
of course, like I said, my wheelhouse, right? So I don't know if those people were extras or if they were actually just watching the
They
scene.
just look
being
like
shot.
those people look like they
Not
know.
to mention the 2 people they hired, the 2 old dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem very real. Hassan, our millennial, what did you think of this? You said was it too long?
It was extremely slow at first.
When did you? Can you
Like,
tell me the truth now? When did you watch this?
last night? I watched it last night.
The whole thing
Did you
on
watch
your
it
phone?
on your phone?
No, you gave me your Google Play account. You
It's nay on that.
you
It's
know.
nay. But did you watch it on the screen?
I watched it on my laptop. I watched the
All
first
one
half
sitting.
last
All one-
night,
All one sitting.
and then I fell asleep.
Oh boy,
I
And
got to be in,
woke
I
up
didn't
and
even
watched
watch
it
this
this
all in
morning.
one sitting.
you didn't?
No, I watched the first half hour on my iPad because I'm going through a different app. But First half hour, kind of late. I was like, I'm gonna go sleep. So I watched the rest of it this morning.
This seems like a movie that you can't watch while you're doing other stuff. You gotta
Yeah, no,
watch it,
because
there's a lot of intricate
everything-
stuff that goes on. There's a lot
Everything that happened,
flip-flopping
it was
and-
all slow, but everything that happened was very important and very crucial. Like from the very beginning with the car wreck. Did we have to see that?
yeah, that sets
Maybe
up the
not,
whole. That sets up
but-
the whole movie.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the
like,
motivation of
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to like. I mean, I like that we saw how angry the old guy got and how he kept on like egging the other guy.
Why did they
on
get?
and
Why were
stuff.
they angry at each other? Do you know?
Generally, or
No. What was the reason?
what was
for-
that? It was like a car thing. It was just like that he was driving slow, but then he noticed that the guy was German,
Right.
and started like attacking him for
But
it.
why? Why was he upset that he was a German?
Oh, because the other driver was
Okay,
Jewish.
so good. So it sets up right from the
Yeah.
beginning
Yeah.
that there's going to be.
that there is
Right.
like
What?
post-Holocaust conflict.
And I think they were angry just because they were in New York, too.
Well, that
Yeah.
might. Do it.
Which
Yeah,
I
the
also-
one thing I got from this movie is New Yorkers are assholes.
Well,
But the one thing I liked when setting,
that's Al, by the way.
yes, Al. The one thing is, you don't know that guy's a Nazi right away, or even German necessarily.
Until he says what?
Was.
Well,
Langsamer.
Judah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or lick mine Arsch.
But he's German, but
He's German because when he's driving through town before
in
he
a
even
Mercedes.
gets well, he's in a Mercedes, but he's also, you can see like shop windows, like one's like Bremen, whatever, and they're all like German shops. So he's like coming from the German part of town, and then he moves into the Jewish part of town where that conflict.
oh, good, good. And you saw that on your iPad?
Yeah, I did see that on
Wow,
my
that's
iPad.
awesome.
You know what, too? There was a, sorry to interrupt, but there was a contemporaneous review. I always look at the contemporaneous reviews. And as one person pointed out, he goes, if you watch this film, New York itself is so malevolent, you feel that even if Dustin Hoffman had never come across these Nazis, he'd still end up dead somehow.
Well, that's the thing about New York movies in the 70s. I mean, that there's a lot of alley scenes in this movie where
Yeah.
it's like, that could, he could die from that, right? Yeah, I know. But again, that's a character.
But continue. I cut you off, Al, I think.
He doesn't
that was,
remember. You-
that
you-
was
you
all I was
lost
going to
his
go
thought.
with. I mean, it you could see him. I mean, it shows him going into the Jewish part of town. That's when it sets up that whole confrontation.
How many movies? This is a Schlesinger movie.
Yeah.
What else has he done?
Well, his most famous one was Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, right. Okay, so that's his Dustin Hoffman. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, it's another
Is
New
that
York
is
realistic.
that the I'm walking
Darling.
here
Yeah.
movie?
Hey, I'm walking here. Yeah, that
Is
one.
it
Wait,
safe?
Midnight
I'm
Cowboy.
walking here.
Cowboy?
That might be on the list.
Isn't that like the first one of the first like X-rated movies? Or
Yeah,
something?
I think
It
that was like
it
the
was
first
X-rated.
mainstream X-rated
Yeah.
film. And he didn't, the interesting thing is he did not, and I think he was a perfect choice because he didn't, I think he did Sunday Bloody Sunday, but he did
Yes,
not
I think
do
you're right.
He did not do a lot of thrillers. He was the drama, and this film really plays on the drama more
Yeah,
than
I wouldn't
the thriller
call it a
aspect.
thriller. I'd call it I call
This
it
is
a
a
I
drama.
don't know about that. Not the way that the music works and everything. I feel like this is a suspenseful thriller kind of
It's
thing.
well, I would say it's suspenseful. It's a suspenseful drama to me. I don't look
It's
at this as
building
a
up the
thriller.
entire time.
Mel Gibson. I think of a thriller of Lethal Weapon. That's
Yeah,
a
another
thriller.
80s film,
Yeah, but no, this is a drama, and it's based in reality.
It's based in a it's based in a real
no
world.
no fantasy.
Yeah. It's based in a real world of real relationships between these brothers. It's these two brothers haunted by the suicide of their father, and they both went in extreme different routes. One guy, their father is hounded by McCarthy period people.
So that's what that's about. He's a
and he
McCarthy.
kills and he shoots himself. And the
Well,
one
that's the gun he
son's
gets.
trying to justify it, and the other son goes quite the opposite way.
Right.
Doc goes and he becomes a government worker. He becomes a
Right.
spy for the government.
Right.
I actually have a question. Dustin Hoffman, was his real name Babe, or was that like
No, that's
something
his-
that she was
No,
calling
in
him?
the credits, his name is. Babe.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't
Baby.
sure if
But
that
that's
was
not his
a
middle name. I
nickname.
forgot what
Well, his middle
character's
name was Babington or something. It was like it's like Thomas Babington.
He
Yeah.
in the interrogation scene when
He
the cops
gives-
are in, he gives
yeah.
his real name. I
Yeah.
forget what it
It's
is.
Thomas
but-
Babington, so Babe would
Thomas
be
By the way,
Babington
that's
Levy.
okay. We'll get into that.
And
but-
I forgot what Doc's real first name was, but
yeah, in the book, Goldman did a sequel to this.
he did.
Yes, I read it on IMDb or something. And in the sequel, Doc lives. In this movie, he's dead.
Wow.
But, in the sequel, he lives and he continues on.
Well, here's something I hear.
It's a book sequel. It's not a movie sequel, obviously.
Here's something that they shot, and it would have made a lot of sense, but I can already see that people wouldn't think the length. I hear that they shot an entire long sequence that ran about 20 minutes of Doc killing a bunch of people. in
Doc
Paris.
is Roy Scheider, by the way.
Roy
Roy
Scheider
Scheider.
playing. He was an assassin, and Goldman was upset
Yeah.
that they shot those scenes but didn't put him in the movie because the movie gives Doc becomes sympathetic.
Yeah.
But actually, he was an assassin.
Yeah.
I mean, we know he's an assassin in this movie, but he was like, you really saw what he was doing. So you have less of that scene where he comes in and dies in his arms becomes less emotional because you realize this guy was actually, I mean, you know he had a relationship with Zell because he has it. So that should have
And
proved something
Janeway, too.
Which one's Janeway? Janeway's
William Devane.
William Devane.
You know, they were obviously
they were all.
I mean, they were lovers. You know,
Really?
You
What?
didn't get that?
No, I didn't get that.
No.
Where?
Where?
Where in that
Hold on.
movie
Watch
did you
that
get
movie
that?
again. Watch it again. Get your ass over here. And there's a lot of subtle subtext between those
Really?
two. Watch it again with that in mind.
I never would have even gone there with
well,
that.
that's interesting though.
Yeah, so it takes it a different way, but you know, and which it also makes it more despicable that because obviously Janeway, you know, helped them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they
Interesting.
said they were willing to sacrifice. You know, I really think that the Doc character is an interesting character in the sense that he's a guy who had a great deal of self-confidence.
Oh yeah.
And he's losing it.
Well,
He knows he's the best because he thinks he's
Well, he
the
also
best.
that's what got him killed.
Yeah.
He was arrogant. He had
Yeah.
no clue about who he was dealing with,
Yeah.
and it got him.
He didn't know the old man had that little
Well,
surprise.
nobody did, but that's a great scene where he's, whatever he says, he goes right before he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't give a fucking
Yeah.
right in there.
Yeah, he slaps the old guy.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
And you remember he does Hoffman did the same thing to him at the end.
Bitch
Yeah.
slapped him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bitch
he
slapped him.
slapped him and knocked
Yeah.
him down.
I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Slap that Nazi.
So I mean, listen, you're gonna eventually we're gonna ask favorite scenes. We're gonna ask. I mean, it was this is the type of movie that I watch all the time.
Yeah, now Roy Scheider though, this is really the first film I really remember him from. You know,
This was after Jaws,
this was
wasn't it?
before Jaws. Jaws
No,
was the next year.
No. This came out in 70.
6.
Right, Jaws came out in 70.
77.
Oh, it did.
I could be wrong.
Come on, man.
He read about this while he was making Jaws.
could be wrong.
I think you're wrong. I may be wrong too. I think I read
I bet
something in
somebody could look
IMDb
it
that
up
someone
online.
gave him this book while he was doing Jaws.
Oh, okay. Well,
you
but
might
you
be
know
thinking
what?
of
Wow,
French
Jaws
Connection.
took a long time.
Yeah, but
to
you might
make.
be thinking French Connection. I think
Oh, yeah, that's right. French Connection too.
that's what you're thinking.
You know, but I mean, he was, you know.
Didn't Jaws come out in
interesting.
75?
He
Jaws
didn't-
came out in 75. Star Wars came out in 77.
Oh, you may be right.
Yes, I
It's
think.
funny. That was rated R, and I was able to see that.
Which one?
Jaws
Jaws was not rated R.
was. You
I
sure?
think Jaws was PG.
No boobs in that one.
Yeah, but it was.
I think it was rated PG. I'm looking at my Laserdisc. thing.
PG for Jaws?
I think so. There was no
Oh yeah,
PG-13
13.
back
Yeah, that's
then,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaws was not R. I don't.
Oh,
believe.
my expert status has dropped.
You just you just went way down. You're a movie structure guy, and this is
Yeah,
what you're
well,
doing.
You know what you
That's
should do?
not structured.
I'm just
You
a
should
fan.
name drop.
You got a name? You want to throw something in there?
No, I never had any dealings with.
Anyway, it doesn't
Schlesinger.
matter. What I read was that he got this book while he was making Jaws, and that he loved the character of. His name is Levy in the book.
Yeah, yeah,
And what he didn't like is Levy get killed halfway through the book.
yeah. They never
But-
liked
No
that.
way.
The
Yeah.
actors.
But he liked that character, and so he ended up getting the part. And
Hmm.
he's really well done in this. He's
Yeah.
great in this movie.
I think he. I
Roy
really
Scheider is a badass.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I love that he slapped him. I love that he had pain the rest of the thing. You know, in so many movies, you know, people do like these incredible things. Like even
The
have you
Tooth
ever been
thing,
in a
too.
fight? Even if you're in a fight,
I've been in one. Not on purpose. I got punched in the eye. Standing up and getting in the middle
but
of it.
even like when
No,
you were in
you-
school,
no,
you
you
get in a
kidding me?
fight. When you hit, even
Yeah.
if you win, it hurts.
Have
know
you ever
what I
seen
mean?
those Discovery or Geographic shows where they show the actual what happens when you get punched
Yeah.
in the face? It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
And you're right. He
Or when
gets
you punch
cut.
someone
His
in the
hand gets cut by the garrote that he's
Yeah.
trying to. And the rest of the movie, you see that, and he's reacting to it. No, it's a very. But again, this is 70s realism.
Yeah.
You can't
And
do that
also,
now because
I mean-
nobody would believe it.
And if you look at it,
Nobody
seems
would
like
believe reality.
It's such a when it opens the film, it opens on the shot of the runner. I forgot what the runner's name was. The black and white footage, and people are sitting there thinking, "What the hell are we here watching this black and white runner from the 50s, and then you see Dustin Hoffman. But it's a
By the
very
way, that
important
black and
thing.
white, that guy runs barefoot.
Yeah. Dustin Hoffman's running barefoot later
Right.
in the film.
I mean, I
so,
think
but I mean, it sets it up, because otherwise, that's another thing in these movies. Usually, the normal guy can suddenly fight and do all this sort of stuff. At least he could run, and that's how he gets.
Well,
himself
again,
out of
it's
trouble.
the same idea like we talked about 3 Days of the Condor.
Yeah.
It's the average guy who is doing things that the people who are used to doing this stuff, they're surprising them, right? Because they don't expect them to do anything.
Yeah.
And they're making moves that are unpredictable.
Yeah.
And it screws up the guys who
But
have-
there's one thing he could do, and that was run.
yes, he could run.
And you know what?
The
And
other
he
thing-
knew his history.
And he knew his history.
Well, he had to run. He was trying to get away.
Yes, because you should like me because you study history and
Right.
I am part of history.
Well, I just want to say, as opposed to the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, where you get absolutely no backstory, you do get a little bit of
A little bit.
backstory in this.
It's not overly,
Yeah.
but
Would
the
you say
father-
that's like the right amount?
Well, it motivates him
Yeah.
because the gun is the gun he uses. So
you
he
don't
needs-
know exactly what charges he
No, you
took.
don't, but you
the
know that
father.
it affected him.
Yeah.
You're right, it affected both of them, and one went one way, the other one went completely pacifist, right?
Yeah. Now, you see, that's an end of a film, too, as opposed to, like, some of the other films we've seen, where he throws that gun away. Now, that has emotional resonance because you know that was the gun that his father had killed himself with.
Right.
And it's sort of like now that he has done this,
You did not know that?
Because even
Because
because the
you
brother
barely
Doc
watched it,
goes in
right?
there and says, "This is the gun." Doc says,
Yeah.
"This is the gun."
Well, in the
why are you
book-
keeping this?
In the book,
Yeah,
he gets him into Central Park and he shoots Zell in Central Park,
yeah,
gives him a lecture,
yeah,
and the police take him away.
yeah,
They take Zell
Wait,
away?
what?
No, they take Dustin Hoffman
Oh.
away, or the character.
yeah. I think he'll do okay though.
Yeah, but this one, the movie, they changed the ending for the movie. The ending of the movie, that was Robert Towns' idea,
Yeah,
to have him eat the diamonds,
yeah,
which Goldman hated.
yeah. Well, to me,
That's
that
what I
was a
read. I'm
great
not saying
touch.
I'm
I
not
heard it
name
was-
dropping,
I
but
heard-
that's
yeah.
what that's
I heard
what.
it was Dustin Hoffman's idea.
No.
Oh,
He
he had
didn't
Robert
like how it
Towns.
ended. So he
This
was
was
like-
one
Oh
of his.
boy.
This was
Oh,
one of
boy.
his, according to stories on the internet, which I don't know of anything personally. This was definitely him being a true Dustin Hoffman
Method.
Method.
Well, that famous story came out of this.
Yeah,
What's
you
the-
know about
Tell us the famous story.
Well, the famous story is that
Everybody
in
knows
order
this.
for the interrogation scene, everyone knows about the famous. Most people don't know anything about this movie. May have remembered "Is it safe?" and the.
Well,
death
that's
torture.
the quote that came out of it. But what's the famous?
Yeah, but basically Hoffman stayed up to
because
get
his
that level
character
of
stayed up.
Yeah, to have that level of fatigue.
Right.
And Olivier was just looked at him. After all talk, he discussed his process. He goes, "Why didn't you just act, my boy?"
That's why we call it acting.
And this was very much a film of two acting styles.
Sure.
Olivier and Hoffman. And last couple times I watched this film, there were times I feel that Hoffman's a little overwrought.
Oh my God, he's screaming all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I bought the more of the motivation this time, but Olivier is like pitch perfect in every scene he's in.
Yeah, I mean,
There goes Sean siding with the Nazi.
That's me. I do side with the
and like
Nazis.
little aside, he thought this was going to be his last movie.
Yeah,
He had cancer.
yeah,
He only did the movie so his family and his wife could get a lot of money when he
Yeah.
died, and it went into remission.
yeah.
And he went on his career because he did Boys from Brazil after this. He did a bunch of movies after this,
Yeah.
and he gives a great performance in this one
And
as a Nazi.
yeah,
Um,
that's why I had to do Boys at Brazil to get beyond.
Yeah,
the
clear him.
Nazis.
Yeah, clear him. But all I want to get the. We're talking too much as always.
Okay.
You and I, we need some stuff from the other guys. Hassan, who barely watched the movie, it
Hey,
turns
oh
out.
wait, I watched.
How did you
the
not get
movie.
the gun? The gun.
When the gun thing, like
That
how
it was
do we
his
know
father's
that it
gun.
was his father's?
Because
Well, you
they
saw
said
it on the
show
floor.
it.
because
saw
Roy
it on-
Scheider says, "Why you keep Dad's gun?"
Yeah, why did he keep Dad's gun? Was probably one of the clues.
What were you doing? What were you multitasking? You weren't
I-
watching.
He's probably texting his mom or
What I
something.
did was
Here we go.
I made some pad thai
Oh,
with my girlfriend, and we
Oh,
ate
that's
it. It
nice.
was delicious.
How
and
old's
then
your
I was
girlfriend?
like,
While the movie was going on, you made the
25.
pad thai. Did you pause
no,
the
no,
movie?
I didn't even start the movie. I was like,
Oh.
I was gonna do them at the same time, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna be able to pay attention. Let me make the pad thai first. My first time making an Asian dish went spectacular, by the way.
Did you get some out of it?
Was it your house or her house?
her house.
Oh,
And then I was like, okay, let's start the movie. Started it for like 10:30 at night after I've already eaten and everything. It's a tough time to stay awake.
I wish he brought his girlfriend.
That's all right. Because I want to know. Yeah, I mean, so
It's,
you weren't
you know,
okay. So
like, I maybe have zoned in and out a bit. It was a tough movie to stay awake during at night, right?
Yes.
So like around the time.
Well, I gotta be honest. I just wasn't really in the mood to like watch it last night. So
it's like
I wa-
homework.
Yeah, kind of.
I
Around the
understand.
time that
So what
the
are we?
brother got stabbed, I was like, I had
Well,
missed
the
it.
gun issue came up long before the brother got
I
stabbed.
know, I missed that.
Okay. All right.
Did
that's
he
fair.
go to his house?
Yeah.
Yeah. His
before that?
apartment.
Yeah,
Yes.
his apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. The wine scene. The whole. It doesn't matter.
No, wait, no, I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the gun coming up, but I do remember that.
So
Makes sense.
structurally, Sean,
Right.
does this fit the classic
No, it
three-act
doesn't.
structure? Okay, explain that to us,
Well,
please.
I mean, it fits. Basically, I would say the main problem with this film in today's parlance is that, like, Zell, you know, the brother, I mean, the real criminal, really isn't in the film until 35 minutes in.
Well, let's talk about.
you would have established him first.
Well, what about Seven?
Well, that's different because it's a mystery.
This is not a mystery.
No, this isn't. This is
not a-
this is
not
a
a-
drama. In a sense, you know,
It's a
Zell is.
conspiratorial mystery, isn't it? Isn't there a mystery going on here?
Well, no, because once we introduce Zell, we know.
okay,
we
you
know
figured
Zell's
out.
the killer.
Okay.
You know. And in Seven, you know, you just wonder what boys Kevin Spacey was hitting on the crew. You know, so I mean, there's a big mystery there.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Too
Sorry.
soon. So Zell's introduced 35 minutes in, but his brother was introduced.
At the beginning, but
Right.
we don't know.
We don't know that yet.
You
but-
only know that he was the brother of a Nazi war criminal when you know Hoffman's like taking off his shoes and socks, and it's on the news, and he says the guy dead was the brother of wanted Nazi war criminal, you know, Christian Zell.
Right.
You know, is it Christian Zell? I think.
Yeah,
I
who's
think
based
so.
on Mengele.
Mengele. Yeah, it was such a fabulous performance. And,
Yeah.
you know, and there's like some, you know, now they would set up all these characters. You know, to me, the best scene in the movie is not the torture scene, but rather when he goes into the diamond district
Yes.
and the old woman's
Oh
recognizes
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's yeah.
and then
You could
then you
feel-
think he's going to escape because she gets hit by a car. Everybody rushes over to her, and then the big guy from the jewelry store
Right.
gets him, and then you get that surprise. You know, when he's
Is that the first time we saw that knife? No, Roy Scheider had already.
yeah,
been.
he already stabbed Roy
Right.
Scheider with that knife.
Yeah, but you know,
But
you don't
think-
see the like blade shoot.
Well, he
out,
should.
like-
We see him get. His
No,
neck-
No, I'm
when
talking about
Roy
when he
Scheider-
stabbed
no,
Roy
right,
Scheider.
right.
Yeah, but you know he's
Yeah.
not a nice guy. By
You
then.
could feel how like he feels he's being watched by every Jew that he walks by and everything. It's so
Well, that was the
intense,
And he
whole-
recognized,
paranoia
he saw
about-
the,
Yeah, his
he saw the
anxiety
tattoo on
and
the one
everything.
guy's wrist.
Yeah.
It's I didn't even like think about how close to the Holocaust that time was.
Yeah.
And like it didn't occur to me that like
You mean the
Someone
date of
that-
the movie, or
Yeah, the date of the movie. It was
Yeah.
only 30 years later.
Yeah, it's true.
it didn't occur to me that like someone that caused all this from the Holocaust would even be alive to meet like someone that they caused the
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
the
so
theory
for
was
at
that all
the
these
same
guys
time.
went down to Argentina and they aged down there, and
Yeah.
he was coming back to get the diamonds. And I mean, that woman, because that's all, what I remember from that movie. Is it safe? And Zell, her screaming Zell, Zell. That is what
Yeah.
what I remember about
And
this
such
movie.
a short, memorable performance, too,
Yeah.
by that woman.
Yeah.
You know, and the old guy, too. And
Yeah.
was that Alan King who played the first Jewelry Talks, too? It's like, and if he doesn't tell you this is, I'm giving
No,
you a
I
good
don't- I
deal,
don't- no, I don't
I'm
think-
going to have to give him,
I mean,
find me a new brother-in-law.
They really went. I mean, I don't know if that's stereotypical, but those guys looked real. I mean,
Yeah,
that came off as real. And like I said, even the extras, the guys watching this stuff go on,
Yeah.
I gotta believe that they were just guys that were watching this go on. I don't know.
You know, at the end
So-
of that scene, there's a scene where he runs over to the taxi. You know, Zell, when he makes his escape. Apparently, he was so sick that he collapsed into that taxi.
Oh,
You know,
really?
he was so weak.
Yeah.
And that's another thing where apparently Dustin Hoffman was quite a dick to him, is that there was one scene when they were doing like a rehearsal, he kept walking him around,
Really?
even though he was so weak.
Hoffman, you know the scenes where he is out of breath from running?
Yeah.
He would literally run a mile before the scene, so he'd be out of breath from running.
Yeah.
And the bathtub scenes, he asked them to put me under. Don't grab my don't grab my Adam's apple, but get me under and let me stay under there as long as I can.
Yeah.
before
They didn't
I
keep
start-
him under there long
Yeah.
enough.
And who do you recognize? Who the
I recognize both of those guys.
the skinny one I didn't know, but the other guy was from Godfather,
yeah.
right? He's
And
the
the
guy.
other guy was like in a number of James. He was in James Bond, I think, Man with the Golden Gun.
right.
And yeah, so it's funny they were
He was Al in
Earhart,
Godfather, right? He was
Al Neary.
Al Neary.
Yeah,
He's the
he
guy
was
that
in all
shoots the Fredo in the boat, right?
Yeah, he becomes in number 2. He's
Right.
The,
He closes
in
the
He's
door.
in the first one. He
He's
was
the
a
one that
former
closes the
cop.
door.
He was a former cop, and he becomes consigliere.
Right.
To
You know,
like
Scott.
a-
Every movie we have to reference.
and the other guy was
Godfather.
like a villain. There was a henchman too. It's funny they were like professional henchmen.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
You know.
And William Devane's been around a while too. I mean,
he never got to be as famous as I thought he could be. You know, he was in
Well-
that last Hitchcock film. I forgot what it was called, where he played a con man who ended up inheriting all this
I
money.
didn't see that. Do you see him in Payback with Mel Gibson?
Yes.
Oh, I love that movie.
There's 2 versions of that. Do you guys know that?
What's
Maybe.
the other version?
There's an original director's cut, and then the cut that Mel Gibson took and recut, which is what you saw in the movie theaters.
Which one was better?
What?
I liked, honestly, the Mel Gibson one I enjoyed more because again, the ending of but the director's cut is good because it's interesting. It's a whole different take, and there's no narration. There's no Mel Gibson narration. They color corrected it differently. The ending is completely different.
Are you telling me the actor added more of himself to the movie?
He added more playful stuff with himself, and
Yeah.
of course he's alive at the end of his version and dead at the end of the other version.
Yeah, funny how that happens.
Yeah, but Devane has a short scene in that he's
Yeah.
good in.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to the director's cut?
The studio took it over. I guess it didn't screen well.
And then Mel Gibson took it and
Took
was
it-
like,
Or of the fact that the
mine now?
simple fact of the matter is Mel Gibson's the star, and they're going to do what he wants.
He supported the director.
Yeah.
The only reason the director did that movie is for some reason he met Mel Gibson on some other movie, and Mel liked the guy. And Brian, I can't think of his name. I can look it up, but he's done a bunch of other stuff. I think he wrote L.A. Confidential. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
but,
Brian Hegelin.
Yes. But that's
That was
just
such a great movie. That
Which
he wrote, L.A. Confidential.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Other
there's-
than that, it falls
especially Kevin
completely apart.
Spacey in
Yeah.
that film, huh?
Kevin
never
Spacey's in
seen
that.
it.
Yeah.
That is I'm going to say that's L.A. Confidential is a perfect movie.
Well, we're going to have to watch that because it falls apart.
It-
There's a lot of stupid things happening.
Well,
in the last
yeah,
half.
but it's so well done.
But I tell you what, if I were a 14-year-old boy watching Kevin Spacey in that film, man, I'd have loved it.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon. Sorry.
Too soon. Back to Marathon
Back to
Man.
creepy.
Creepy
You
and
know,
Marathon Man.
You know, I love also, and see, this is the thing that also they don't do in movies nowadays. They give all the lines, and they like to have fewer actors in the film and give more lines to them. It's like even the neighbors who always make fun of them. They have a part to play in
Yeah.
the story.
It's-
They would not have done that in the modern movie.
every
It's
shot was
amazing. I
important.
don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
3 Days of the Condor.
Yeah.
These
Did you see
those
that? Did you guys see that?
those
No.
two movies parallel each other.
Yeah, they
because there's a
really
whole
do.
neighbor thing in there too.
Yeah.
that they with the exact same, get the neighbors to go in there to get them.
Yeah.
You know, because guys are waiting on them, get them out of there. That's when William Devane comes down. Hey guys, and all of them are outside the apartment, and they all
Yes,
pull their
Adam.
guns on him.
And that last guy who goes
Last
in
guy-
sort of like,
Just laughs at him. On the way.
His line,
yeah.
shove it up your asshole.
yeah,
Right.
blow it out your ass.
Yeah.
Blow it up your ass.
So so very realistic.
Yeah, now the contemporaneous reviews of the film, or people just found it very confusing.
How is it confusing?
That's what I don't
What's
understand.
confusing
either. It
about
don't
it?
make sense. But you know, another film, and he's like billed fifth as like Fritz Weaver as the professor.
Right.
That is such a great scene that sets up the backstory.
Right.
It's like he doesn't want to necessarily write about his father. The guy's like, yes, the McCarthy period will be essential to your piece.
Right.
I will be writing about. It will be essential to
Right.
your thing. Oh, yes. And it's like, and then after he gets him to agree to it, I'm very worried that you're dealing with the period where your father died. It's like you're twisting my arm into writing it. You know, and if it does you any consolation, I wept when I heard, you know.
But that character, his father, fuels everything that goes on. in
Yeah,
his.
even Zell discusses
even
it later.
Zell at the end is saying you're
Oh,
weak
you're all weak. Your
Yeah.
father was weak in his way.
in
your
his
brother-
way. I like that in his way.
Yeah. And your brother was weak
Yeah.
in his way.
Yeah.
His weakness was his arrogance,
Right.
I would say.
Right. And that's when Hoffman slaps him the way his brother slapped him, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh boy, here we go again."
Yeah.
But he had the diamonds,
Yeah.
you know.
I liked how he made him eat the diamonds.
Yeah.
Because I think it was kind of like symbolic of how like a lot of Jews when they were escaping, they had to eat their jewelry and like.
Yeah, well, again,
I tell you what, I would have
he,
eaten
like,
them.
made.
I would have eaten some of them.
he ate a couple of them,
Oh, he ate the
but
one.
then he stopped.
Yeah.
Then he stopped.
Yeah,
Don't they
right.
like?
Yeah.
They're probably like. cut
That's what killed
something.
him.
Right.
What killed him?
Well, the
His
diamonds
eye.
killed. Well, the diamonds killed him.
They probably
Yeah.
would have cut something on the way in and out.
Oh, you know,
Diamonds
that's
are
how
pretty
that's how
sharp.
those diamonds all got to him.
Yeah.
They all got to him through the intestinal tract of people.
God Almighty. Yeah. But again, that wasn't how it was written in the book.
Yeah.
So
and
that
it's better.
was that was
This
for the movie.
better.
No, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
again, most 70 movies don't end.
Yeah.
You know, they would end on a downer. Not
Yeah.
that this wasn't a downer, but
Yeah.
because everybody around him is dead. His girlfriend, who was actually part of the whole thing, and
Yeah.
his brother's gone.
Yeah, he
and,
seemed unusually willing to cut her some slack on that.
well, but he
Well,
didn't
he was
really
creepy
know.
though. He probably didn't have a lot of female friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah, is
okay, she was probably involved in my brother's death, but she was put
I mean,
out.
did you?
His
I
whole
mean, he was
interaction
kind of
with
like
her is
he did harass her, like going up to her house, like he wouldn't leave her alone
Yeah,
until she finally
Are
agreed.
we
to,
gonna read into every movie he's ever
Yes.
done? That come
We're
on,
not
It's
gonna
over.
read
Can't do
into
this.
it.
It's over.
In general, it's creepy. It's
Yeah, he was kind of stalking her.
He was okay, whatever.
but
Yeah,
no,
he
back
stole her
in,
book
but
and
But
back
that's
in
how
the
he
day,
but she's stalking her. She's trying to get. She's working for them. She's trying to get him to notice her. What do you mean
yeah.
because
stalking
she's
her?
a woman
but-
now, she's trying
No,
to get
Yeah, 'cause
noticed.
she was asking
what
for it,
she's
is that what you're
wearing.
saying?
No, because she
Because
works for
she's
the
a German,
CIA
she's
or whoever.
asking
Nah,
for
well, the
it,
Nazis.
She
Ralph.
works for the CIA or
Yes.
whoever. She was working for them.
Yeah, but she didn't provoke him into doing that. She was just sitting at the table in the library looking at some books and like
Yeah,
he-
with her
he got-
buttons
If
down her
anything-
chest.
Oh, it
If
wasn't
anything-
that
if
like
anything,
that.
that movie is teaching people that every woman that's just sitting there reading a book is actually asking for it.
We're not okay.
Yeah, and
retro-
then every
we're not
woman who's
doing
sitting
this.
there reading a book should get shot in the stomach.
We're not retroactively. By the way, did she really die that quick?
Yeah, she was the one that died with the eyes open.
Yeah, shot her in the back. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't. And he gets that. That's the
Well,
one
he shot
fake.
twice.
It looks a little weird, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like- but I love
By
after
her, I
after
thought-
he kills everybody. Dustin Hoffman, what's he do?
What?
The tooth thing,
Yes.
right? Because
Yeah.
he's been tortured. And, by the way, the torture
Oh,
scene.
he also like flinched when before the cop came. He also was, like remembered that his tooth was hurting.
Well, the thing
still,
is,
too.
before he go into the house, he does the last thing and he throws the,
Yeah.
the oil, the clothes
Yeah, he was
down.
done. He was done.
Because now he's
he
like,
wanted the pain.
yeah, he
He
wanted
wants
the-
to remember. He wants to remember the pain. Yeah, I
He
just
needs the
thought about
pain.
that. You know, it's funny you say that because I'm like, he threw away an empty. That bottle was full, but
Yeah.
now he wants.
You know
it.
what? That is a great piece of knowledge because once I had a toothache, I went and bought some of that oil of cloves, and it really does.
Does it work?
Oh man, it works great.
Good to know.
I thought that was him, like, because the Zell gave him that bottle. That was
Yeah.
like him, like throwing out, like he kind of maybe like saw it as like,
I think he was like, okay, I'm going to deal with my pain because it's going to make me angry.
okay,
Yeah.
I like
And-
that.
Yeah,
I like
and it's
that
going to
idea.
be okay. I gotta do this because that
Now-
whole thing where the three of them are walking up to him at the house,
Yeah.
and Devane is trying to sweet talk him.
Yeah.
you know, it's just one of those. Because why? Why let him in? Why? Why would you do
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that is stupid. Well,
know?
I guess he wanted them all in his kill zone.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, what I loved about Zell's questioning of him, other than is it safe, is because he's like, especially because it's like, well, your teeth, you really got to take better. He knows he's going to kill him. He knows he can never let this guy leave, but the dentist in him comes out and says, you got to take better
Well,
care
don't
of
you
your
think
teeth.
that was
Well, he's
just
in
him
torture,
setting
man.
up what the torture is going to be?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but no, I think he's generally like, oh man, what are you doing with these
No,
teeth?
I don't.
No,
You
I think
didn't-
I think he's letting
100%
him know
gonna
that.
torture him.
Yeah, no, I
But
think.
the next thing was even more hilarious when he comes back the second time and he's like, you should really enjoy your days as a student because those are the only days that no one's going to demand anything of you.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, it's like, really, dude?
Well,
You're going to kill him.
But you know, Zell doesn't think he's a bad guy.
yeah, no, that.
I mean, in
that's
his
what's
mind, he
beautiful.
doesn't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah, like when he said, hey, I'm, the one when Devane says, like I believe in my country, and he's like, we all did,
Right.
So did we
yeah,
did too.
yeah. So he,
Yeah,
in his
Zell
mind,
does
he's
not view himself. He's
No.
just trying to make his possessions
right,
safe.
right.
And he views that these people were planning to rob him. And you know what? He probably
He was right.
He was right because otherwise Janeway would never have handed because Janeway some way or another let Zell kill Doc.
You think he knew that?
I think he knew he did it. He didn't go in. They didn't go in and arrest him or kill him.
So when Devane before Devane gets shot,
Yeah.
and he explains everything to Dustin.
Yeah.
He's at the bank. He's at 58th Street.
Yeah.
You thought he was just going to kill Dustin Hoffman?
No, I think he was going to let him kill
Zell?
Yeah, I think.
So why would he shoot the girl? What was
Because girl was working for Zell. They were.
So
kind of-
ultimately, you
I
think
thought-
Devane actually was going to let him go get Zell?
Yes, I think he was going to let him kill Zell because Zell wasn't, as he said, you're uncontrollable. You're not worth. You're causing too much trouble. You're not worth what you're.
Why wouldn't Devane just kill him then?
Well, because maybe it was an order, and because they were lovers. And, this is a way to avenge.
Zell and him were lovers?
No,
oh boy, oh, boy.
Janeway and Doc.
Lost me
Watch
there for a
that movie again with the relationship between Doc and Janeway.
All right.
No, it was clear. It was.
What
it was
about
clear.
Brody and Hooper? They good?
They're good.
Not that
Oh, you know
anything's
what?
wrong with
I mean,
that.
we'll get to this and you read the book Jaws, right?
No. I have it in my Laserdisc special edition.
No, in that book,
Oh, no, he had an affair with the wife.
Yeah, he has
He
an affair
actually
with
had
her.
an affair with a shark.
And he dies.
Brody dies?
Not Brody.
Hooper.
Hooper
Oh,
dies.
right. I heard, yes.
He
in the
dies,
book.
but he had an affair with the wife, and I'm like, that is so bad. It's so much better in the movie that he didn't have the affair with the wife.
Well, they cut a lot out of in the book, I don't think.
No, but I mean, that was just
Right.
a fundamental flaw because it really is about these three guys on a boat, and they got to get a bigger. They're going to need a bigger boat, or at least maybe a bigger podcast.
Well, there you go. We got the podcast now.
Yeah. So, but I really love the scenes with Zell because I think you're right. Zell does not view himself as a villain.
No.
He probably views himself as a victim.
Even his experiments he was doing,
Yeah,
he was thinking was for the humanity.
Yeah, so
They were trying to create a master race, for
Yeah,
God's sake.
For goodness
So,
sakes,
right.
he was.
So he was doing.
and his poor brother, got killed by a Jew.
Yes, the Jewish person definitely had
Yeah.
something
I
to do
heard,
with that.
someone online said it was a Jewish revenge flick,
Well, it kind of is. Levy's Jewish.
and I kind of love it.
Yeah,
I love that it's a Jewish revenge.
Well, yeah.
which makes it all the weirder that Doc, who is Jewish, is is a courier for Zell.
Well, that's the side that probably the missing scenes aren't, why were they? Obviously they were helping
Well,
him.
he says because Zell helped them, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah, trade-off.
So
Yeah.
why didn't Zell just go? I mean, Zell didn't go. He didn't just go to the bank right
His
away.
brother was dead, so the brother had the key.
Yeah.
Well, he had a key too.
Yeah.
But,
he
but
had
I'm
a
saying,
key
but the
too.
brother was going to get him originally, right?
Yeah.
And get him to him, but the brother was dead, so Zell had to come over and get him.
Yeah, he had to expose
Yeah.
himself.
So I mean, that's where that whole premise, shaving his head in the airplane.
Yeah.
Why did what? And he went after Dustin Hoffman because he thought he knew something that would stop him
Because the
from
brother
getting,
died in Dustin Hoffman's apartment.
Yeah, so he thought he would
He
have
thought he
stopped
said
him
something.
from.
And Devane, that whole setup where he fakes like he kills those two guys
Yeah.
Yeah.
and asks him, asks him all those questions. He realized he knew nothing and brought
Now,
him back. Can you imagine?
Devane is kind of a bastard all the way through.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Because you got to take in, you don't get the sense that he likes Zell. Obviously, he has little.
I'm
patience
sure they
for
have
Zell.
relationships like this where they're protecting people that they don't want to protect.
Yeah.
Because our government is saying we have to do
But in a
this.
sense,
But he's
Zell
outside-
has already killed Doc, and essentially he knows he's going to kill Babe too, and he
Yeah.
has to help, and he helps him.
Right.
He's helping him.
But it's also Devane and William Roy Scheider's character were outside of the CIA.
Yeah,
and
they were
the
different
FBI. They were
branch, yeah.
what do they call it? The outfit,
division.
The division.
Yeah.
So
The long
Al,
division.
you haven't really said anything
Yes.
much. What's your favorite scene in the movie, or your not favorite scene in the movie,
Favorite scene?
or your least favorite, I should say. Sorry.
Honestly, probably the old lady on the street yelling
That
at.
scene. You like
yeah,
that scene,
That was my favorite.
Hassan?
I like the interrogation scene. when
The
he's
torture
first-
scene or
The torture scene when he's first setting up the tools and everything. It's like a long shot, and you just see Dustin Hoffman starting to panic. You could like see every bit of it, and like he's walking so slow, and
Yeah.
it's
Comes
just
off as
building
nice.
up the
The teeth need to be-
anticipation, building it up. No, I didn't trust that guy from the beginning. He didn't come
You
off
know-
as nice at all.
But speaking of the dental thing, you think I'm crazy? Zell washes his hands and everything too. If
It's
you're
because
just
he's
playing-
He's a
German.
surgeon. No, but he's a surgeon.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I'm saying. The dentist in him comes out because
Right.
he was just going to kill some people.
Well,
it's sort of like
Everyone
I talked to
knows
a guy-
Germans are super clean freaks. And
Well, I
they
also
always
think
wash their hands.
again, it's back to he's a highly trained professional.
Yeah, he's a professional.
He
dentist.
thinks that he's doing the right thing. So he's
Yeah.
he's not going to change. That's not going to change. Even
Yeah.
though he's going to kill. He's not going to kill him.
I
He's
mean,
gonna
I
somebody
don't
else
think
kill
he's
him.
going to give him a filling before he kills him.
I know.
It's like, well, let me fill that for you. now we'll kill you. And that's pretty nasty because you can see where he went in. He went into that
Well,
front
he
tooth.
drilled into
Yeah,
the
I
rest
wasn't
of the
expecting
movie.
that.
He
Yeah.
drilled in the live nerve.
Yeah,
I was
and then the
expecting,
front
like,
tooth. That's just
another
nasty.
live
Oh,
tooth.
oh my God! For me, who has teeth issues, that scene is just like I can't even.
Yeah.
And they shortened that scene because people couldn't take it.
Yeah.
You know, think about that. I mean, and I read that Hoffman was like fake screaming at times to get.
Yeah.
Because Olivia was worried about he was hurting him,
Yeah.
and Hoffman would do one of those screeching screams that he would do as a joke, and it would just flip him out. What was you've mentioned the bathroom scene. That bathroom scene
Yeah, is.
where he's in the bathtub and he hears noises in his apartment.
Yeah.
The part that I loved was the when they're pulling the hinges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're breaking the threshold of the door or whatever.
The thing is, during that scene, you can see the wall move. So I don't.
but they're
Yeah, because
pulling.
they're
No,
trying
but
to get
like
the
wall,
door
those
open.
things would move.
That was
Yeah.
I think that was a real. I don't think that was
that
set.
a weak wall?
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, if you're prying hinges, if you're trying to get a door off its hinges, you're going to bend the
But
wall.
the
you're-
wall's going to move. It moved at the bottom of the wall, like it was separated from the
I don't know,
the
but
floor.
The
No, I
slow,
bought
the
that. I
slow,
was
like
noticing
the
that.
slow. You know, you see the thing come in and
Yeah.
starts peeling the
Yeah.
door jamb away. It's like,
It's
oh my God.
anxiety. It's like
And
you
that-
feel
and
it.
Always in New York,
Yeah.
guys trying to get away. Those tiny little windows in the bathroom.
And then
right?
there's just a wall a foot away from him.
I thought he was
There's nowhere
gonna
to
try
go.
to jump through the window. I was like, shit, he's gonna cut
Oh,
himself.
it's
He's
so
naked.
good. Such a good scene. Such a good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From-
then he
from
does
a-
the craziest thing, which is he decides. But you know what?
He
In a
runs
sense-
in. He just runs in.
Yeah, but in a sense, that's probably
But what's
would
he
have been
gonna
his
do?
best chance.
Yeah, I'd want to get out of the bathroom knowing you might drown in there. I don't know what
Because you wouldn't expect that he suddenly, if you were those guys out there, you wouldn't expect that he would suddenly open the door and charge
Yeah,
out.
no.
You know,
Maybe he
you would
thought
think
he
you
could
got
get through.
They
if you
did
caught him by
expect it.
surprise for a second, you might get away. You know, but well, you know, Andy Devane was probably not Andy Devane, no.
William
was
Devane.
surprised sitting in the car out there.
Well,
ready
he
to
wasn't
grab
in
him.
there, right? It was the other.
No,
two
it was
guys.
just the other two guys,
Yeah.
Al Neary and the other henchman.
So you don't think this movie could be made now?
I don't think so. They would really
Not the
streamline
same
it.
way.
Yeah.
It won't go into theaters the same way. it
What
is.
movie is? I'm trying to think of a movie that does with this one. That's Enemy of the State. No, I mean this
No,
is
that
like
was an
conspiracy.
action
Yeah, I guess it's so hard
Well,
to.
no, they make long movies now.
It's not
No,
about
but I mean,
long.
it's
It's
just
not
that-
about long.
It's the irregular rhythm of it.
Oh, totally.
It's mainly a drama with action.
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
why I wouldn't call it a thriller because
Yeah.
to me it is a
I
drama,
like suspense.
Yeah.
a suspenseful drama.
Yeah.
It's more like Tinker Tailor, Poet Prince, and
Yes.
But
you know
that
what I
violence
mean.
in that movie comes like quick. I mean, that's like I just think of that scene in when they killed the bald guy off, the bald spy.
I guess-
Tinker.
I just saw another one of those books that had Ian McGregor in it. It was just came out. It's just-
Ian McGregor.
Ewan?
Ewan.
Ewan.
Yes.
Ewan.
Ewan?
Meehan.
Ewan?
Yeah, he was another. It was another spy one where he's helping a Russian mafia guy get over to England. It just came out, and once again, it was another one of those slow. But the English and the Europeans still like this kind of movie. And there was that one starring that guy who died of a heroin overdose, the heavyset guy.
Hoffman.
Yeah.
The man.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
Philip Seymour
where he
Hoffman. I
played
know.
a
I know
German
what you're talking about.
intelligence
Yeah,
guy.
that was good.
That was good. So,
Yeah.
But once again, that's a European film. You know. So,
Yeah. Definitely
But-
European sensibilities. I don't
Yeah,
know if it was
and so I don't think an American.
A Man
company
Apart.
would- yeah, Man
no,
Apart.
not, is that it? No, not a Man
No,
Apart.
not a
That's
Man
that's
Apart, but,
that's Vin Diesel. Oof.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now, if it had Vin,
Same
you
thing,
keep
right?
talking. I'm gonna look that one
if
up.
Vin Diesel were in this movie,
That
It would have been a lot better.
probably made
That
it.
would have saved it. He would have
Yeah.
driven his car away.
Yeah, he'd have
would've
driven a
been
car
fine.
away.
Um,
He would have suddenly the car would have flown out of a plane and landed on an ice thing. And they would have driven
Did
around.
you watch that last one?
No,
Or
I
any of
couldn't.
them?
I saw
Yeah.
the first one, didn't see the need to see the others.
Hey,
I heard
I
Vin
liked
Diesel.
it. Don't get me wrong, I liked the first
I
one.
heard Vin Diesel is like extremely mad at The Rock because he feels like The Rock.
No,
took the
that's
whole
Tyrese.
franchise.
The other guy.
Tyrese is
Yeah,
upset.
Oh,
Tyrese.
right.
About what? What's this?
I don't know.
Because The Rock took the franchise
Right.
and like the family that the franchise like created and is like making it his own because that's what The Rock does.
A most wanted man.
Or Most Wanted Man, that's it, yeah.
That's a
And not
slow-
it's
that's a
close to
slow
a
one.
man apart.
Yeah, Tyrese is upset because The Rock is screwing up his wife has taken half his money, and his ex-wife Tyrese is that his name?
Yeah,
His
Tyrese
ex-wife
Gibson.
has taken half his money, so he needs more money, and The Rock is doing these not sequels, but what do you call them when they I don't know what you call it when somebody from the movie has their own movie.
Yeah.
Spin-offs.
Spin-offs.
Spin-offs,
Thank
yeah.
you. Getting old.
Oh, he's doing a spin-off?
Yeah.
Of the Fast and
Yeah.
Furious?
Yeah,
Without
that's
the whole
him and
family?
Jason
guy,
Statham,
that FBI
right?
guy. Yeah. Those
Or
two.
Kurt Russell.
Maybe,
No, it's,
but I'm saying
Jason
it's,
Statham. Jason Statham.
it's The Rock's character
from.
from those. He's
Okay.
spinning off to another movie.
Yeah, they're spinning off into some Harry Potter sequels.
I just
So-
want to say the worst scene is the lovemaking scene.
Well, it's it's the 70s. What was wrong with it?
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, he didn't really have any like great lines. It was all just like,
Who didn't have great lines? Hoffman?
yeah. He was just like,
He
yeah.
didn't know how
screamed
to
a lot.
act with an actress that old.
Yeah.
You mean with the woman, or just in general through the whole movie?
In general, through the whole movie.
Hmm.
You
Chemistry.
didn't really like.
Huxley Hall.
What you didn't really get like a sense of the relationship other than like the few dates they went on, and then like that lovemaking scene had like no chemistry. It was just like,
So let me ask you this:
oh, you're so great. It's
chemistry.
lasting for so long. Oh,
what
yeah,
was
I
the
can't even
reason
go
that
any
the two
longer.
guys robbed them in Central Park? Was that to get them closer, or were they looking for something?
Oh, yeah,
I
what
think
was
they
that?
were just. I think it was just to get them closer.
And but that's what got the brother involved,
Yeah.
because he wrote the letter to the brother, and the
Yeah,
brother
no.
figures out that she's not a Swiss and she's German, and
Oh,
yeah,
I thought that
think
was.
everything that happened to Dustin Hoffman was a signal to the brother.
Hmm.
You know, to say, look, we can kill your brother anytime we want. You can rob me, but I can still have your brother killed. You know, I think so. I think that was everything was a warning
to Dustin Hoffman or to Roy Scheider?
to Roy Scheider.
Well, yeah, because Roy Scheider says, or when they meet, when Roy Scheider's
Yeah,
about to die,
it's
he's
like
like, we don't mess with family. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like family is off limits.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no, family's not.
He should have known
Then he
right
bitch
then.
slaps him.
And then he gets stabbed in the gut.
Yeah.
So I think Zell won that one.
Yeah. Zell
Well,
won
that
You want me to fight with you, but
He
I
won the
won't.
battle.
I am too old
Right.
and too smart.
right. He won the battle, but not the war.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I wonder if Dustin Hoffman knew he was going to be taking that many hits in this. I mean, not Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier. Oh, you're going to really be taking some punches in this movie.
yeah, it's it's.
But I love the New York of the movie.
Well, of course, New York, and again, New York in the '70s was scary as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it.
Well, when I started going up there in the 80s, it was still pretty
Well, yeah,
scary.
Times Square was. You didn't
Yeah.
want to, kind of a
I
mess.
was up
Still
there
kinda
for film
scary.
transfers and all.
It's not. I don't think it's like it. It's not scary. I mean, it's
Not anymore.
but not like that. I mean, you
Now
look
I
at
would
those,
walk from like Times Square down to like Greenwich Village and back. There were some areas where there weren't. a
There's
whole
no
lot of
way
street
you
lights.
walked that.
even the
much.
scenes
Yes,
where
I
he's
did. This was in the
I-
90s.
even
I
the scenes
walked.
where he's jumping, where he's running away from the
That was
cars,
tough.
right? So he's jumping from one level of the highway to the next.
Yeah,
Nobody's stopping for him.
yeah.
They're all
exactly.
beeping their
Yeah, they're beeping
all
their horns.
honking their horns, get out of the way.
Yeah.
So he's completely alone. He runs through that. Devane gives up when he runs through the trash heap or whatever the
Yeah.
heck he was going over.
I mean, but that was good. It was like close. I like.
No, he follows them with the car, and then he jumps
Yeah,
over
yeah.
to the other side of the.
right down the highway, and
That's
the
when
cars are
he-
beeping
yeah.
at him, and
He jumps from one side of the one highway to the other.
But
and
there
this-
was one act of generosity by a New Yorker when he gave the cab driver his Rolex, his brother's Rolex, for a dime. The guy gave him a couple dimes.
right, and the guys who lived across the street who broke into
Yeah.
his house. That was a pretty
Yeah.
nice act.
Now you see if the film continues.
What's
you
in
knew
it for
those
me?
guys
He
would
goes,
have
"It's
a
gonna be
great
dangerous."
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that they were going to
That's
have
the
fun
fun
after
part.
that.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that they called him creepy, and he turns out to be. This is. Just want to say this podcast was taped after there's been allegations, strictly allegations, that Dustin Hoffman was a bit of a creep and
I mean, yes,
sexual
but-
harasser. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's okay.
Let me
Maybe
ask
we
you
should have a
this.
discussion. Is it
Let
okay
me ask you
for
this:
a 48-year-old
do you
guy?
still like the movie Chinatown?
Yes.
Yes,
do?
but I won't. You know what?
But
I will,
Polanski is a douchebag.
But
Yeah,
do you
I will
like the
not-
movie? That's the problem.
You,
here.
you have to separate the
can't-
art from the.
I guess you
No,
have
no,
to.
no, not
What
Wait,
choice do we have
Chinatown
now?
is
If
De
we
Niro,
did-
isn't it?
Like, do I have to pull my
Yeah.
Usual Suspects
not
poster
De Niro.
down?
It's
Does that poster have to come
Spacey?
down?
Jack Nicholson.
Does that poster have to come down? My Usual Suspects.
Well, here's my view: is I'm not gonna give to any of these people any more money.
So you'll never see another Dustin Hoffman movie in the movie theater.
Wait,
I will
happened-
not
What are
see
you
one in the
saying?
movie theater. I'm not
What
saying I would
happened-
never see one.
What happened with Jack Nicholson?
No, this is
Nothing.
Polanski.
He was
Well-
in the Polanski movie.
Nicholson was
Was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah implicated in that whole mess.
Well, he was
Wait,
like
with the,
implicated.
uh,
it
for
was at
abusing
Jack Nicholson's
prostitutes.
house.
Oh, it was? Oh, I didn't know that.
What did he do?
Polanski. What did Polanski do?
Oh, at Jack Nicholson's house.
I think so.
But does that mean we can't watch Christopher Walken and what's his name films anymore either?
What-
Why, what's
Well, what did Christopher
Walken?
Walken do?
What are you doing?
Natalie Wood, Robert.
Oh my god.
That's just allegations.
Oh my god. We going
Those
nuts.
are just.
Fatty Arbuckle killed a woman.
Yeah. That was.
I don't
false.
watch his movies anymore.
Yeah, I actually do watch some Fatty Arbuckle films. So it's pretty bad. But you know what? It is going to affect the box.
What about
office.
Casey Affleck? Just won a friggin' Academy
I
Award.
tell you
Yeah,
what, if he
fuck
did it this
Casey
year-
Affleck.
Yeah, that's my attitude.
Honestly.
There's a petition so that he will not give the award next year.
Well, I think given the allegations that are coming out now, I think he probably should say, you know what, maybe it's a good idea I don't.
You know what? I don't think he would have gotten the Oscar if it was this year, in this environment that he's in now.
Oh, I think you're right.
I don't think.
I
he'd
think he
been
would have been called
nominated.
out. Listen, all these people who have the strength now to come up and do this, I think he probably would have been. You're right. I think he.
Yeah, so I will never buy that movie. I mean, I may see it one day, but I'll wait till it's on free cable. You know what I mean?
Which one? Oh, Manchester.
Manchester by the Sea.
You know what?
Didn't even
the thing
seem
was,
interesting.
that seemed like a film that I just didn't want to
Whatever.
see. It's sort of like
And
I'm going
he's-
to wait till I'm in the right
he's
mood
quite
to see
good in
that
it.
film. You know?
Doubt it.
He was. You ever see him in?
Ocean's 11?
No.
Ocean's 12?
He was really good in that River
Jesse
Phoenix
James.
film.
Ocean's 13?
Oh,
The
Coward
Coward.
Form. Yeah. Who
And
directed-
Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah, I saw Gone Baby
Oh,
Gone.
yeah. I heard that was
What about the River Phoenix film?
Which one is that?
The one where River Phoenix was insane. Not River Phoenix.
Oh,
No,
Joaquin.
River
No,
Phoenix
Joaquin,
was
Joaquin.
in.
Where
Sorry.
he
River
played-
Phoenix was in Stand
well,
By
that's
Me.
where he was
but-
sexually abusing the people. Was on that movie.
on the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Casey
Yeah.
Affleck directed that movie.
Oh, I had
The
no
one, the
idea.
documentary, right?
Yeah,
Where-
the fake
That was
documentary.
directed by Casey
Yeah.
Affleck, his brother-in-law.
Well, here's my
Ex-brother-in-law.
Here's my problem. One, the sexual harassment's wrong. You know, and I've never been one. I've been
The
known to
stuff
make
that
some.
these guys say, how can that even if Dustin Hoffman allegedly said the things he said? What the? How does it? I mean, who? And flower pots.
Yeah,
Harvey Weinstein and flower pots.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
yeah.
It's just power. It's a power thing.
And you
It's
know this
unbelievable.
towback stories.
Brett Ratner too.
Yeah,
Another one who's. I'm glad he's getting called out. That guy.
Well, you know what? The thing about Brett Ratner, the funny thing is, 6 women called him out in the Hollywood Reporter on an article. A 7th woman called him out on Facebook, but not through the press, and he's suing her. You know, and that's just the threat of a suit's usually enough to calm this down. But you see, the funny thing, because he didn't sue the 6 women who came out through the Hollywood Reporter, because those stories have already been vetted.
Well, these stories came out years ago, but nobody ever.
Well, Toback is the one I can't get over. Well, no, there's 2 I can't get over. Toback, because
Toback?
I read that article.
Who's Toback?
He did like 5. He did a bunch of films back in the
Let me-
70s.
I'll find them for you.
He was like a new Hollywood guy, and he wrote the script for Bugsy. So I think that was Oscar nominated. He
was a well
A respect-
respected director.
But I read that article in Spy Magazine back
wrote
in
The Gambler.
'88. Yeah, The Gambler, the pickup artist. He did a bunch of films with Robert Downey Jr. And
He's only done 12. He's only
he was a
directed
sex
12 movies.
abuser, and they did a big story about it in Spy Magazine.
2 girls and a guy.
Yeah, 2 girls and a guy. And and he
Fingers.
still was. Yeah, Fingers was.
Is that with Harvey Keitel?
Keitel? Yeah. So I was thinking 5 Fingers of Dr.
a
Lau,
good
but
movie.
but he should. They should have cut him off years ago. And Brett Ratner and who's the one? Bryan Singer, who does these X-Men movies.
Is he in? Well, he because there's some
paid-
allegations about him.
Yeah, and those allegations were all squashed. But now there are new allegations against him too.
All right.
But the thing is, he does. It's one thing. No, it's not. I shouldn't differentiate, but it's different when it's adults and it's kids.
So let me ask you this. Okay. We're movie fans. I did look at Marathon Man differently after
Yeah.
hearing the allegations, right? You look at Usual Suspects. I have to look at it. Woody Allen films. But
I won't see a Woody Allen film in the theaters anymore
Me neither.
that's such a
Is that
strong-
because
but-
they're
because you don't want to pay
because
any
they
money?
suck.
yeah.
The last one I saw in the theater was Hollywood Ending. I didn't need to know he was a pervert.
When I used to watch Chinatown, I knew about the Polanski stuff, and it didn't bother me. But I guess in hindsight,
It's
the
before it
but,
happened.
Was
no,
it
but
before?
you still knew about it. No. You still know. I don't know if it was. I don't know if the
Well,
act
the
happened
thi-
before he did that. I have no idea.
I think it happened. The
But my
famous
point
one.
is now.
But there's 6 other people coming
Now,
out.
okay, all these people are coming out, and they're it started with Bill Cosby, frankly.
Yeah.
Right. That's that. If you
One
want to talk
guy
about
said the right
dominoes.
comment at the right time. And
Okay, so that
everyone-
started a little bit, right? So I just it's frustrating because I don't know what to do with it, because these movies are movies that, like, if I heard Walter Matthau,
Yeah.
let's talk about the taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3. If I found out that he was an abuser, a pedophile, whatever, what would that? How would that?
It was-
I just don't know what I would.
I
do.
was really-
I don't know what to do. It ruins everything.
It's like I watched
They're ruining
Rosemary's
these
Baby.
abusers are ruining. And forget what
Yeah.
the heinous stuff they did to the victims.
Yeah.
They ruin everything.
Yeah.
Everything gets ruined because these guys are doing this, or these people.
Yeah,
Could be-
like
who
I
knows
watched
if-
Rosemary's Baby and I watched Chinatown, but I did watch The Piano, the Holocaust film, but mainly because it was that Polanski did. But I really felt conflicted when I saw The Piano. Not The Piano, not the one with the girl,
Yeah, I know. With
Pianist.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
The pianist.
Yeah, The Pianist. I felt, yeah. But I felt really conflicted when I saw that film. And I decided that as much as I liked that film. But you got to ask yourself.
Wait, what did Adrian Brody do?
He was in the Polanski film about the Holocaust, based on like Polanski's things. Polanski was from Poland at the time of the Holocaust and all. And I don't know. I gave myself a pass on that one because of the subject.
Well, you
matter.
read Kevin Spacey's background, his father.
Yeah,
Oh my God! I mean, but again,
What did his
it
father-
ruins his father.
they called him the Beast.
He wore a Hitler mustache #1.
Yeah,
And I think he raped both his. I think
Both
he
his
raped his
sons.
brother. I don't know if he got to Kevin Spacey, but definitely the brothers come out and said he wore a Hitler mustache and he raped me.
yeah.
This is what Kevin Spacey grew up in. Okay, so you put that aside, which you can't, but you do because you want to watch movies. But these abusers have ruined everything
They really
because
have.
you can't look at anything now without questioning anything. It's just it's. And here we are. We were doing Marathon Man and. Kevin Spacey's in Seven. Kevin Spacey's in Usual Suspects.
LA
Kevin Spacey
Confidential.
is in Baby Driver, and
Yeah.
you just L.A. Confidential. You can't watch these anymore without thinking
It's
about it.
easier
just
when
ruins-
the-
And I'm not claiming I'm a victim like they're victims.
Yeah.
But it's just a fact.
No,
it's
it is.
easier. It's easier. No, it's easier when the abuser is a villain in the movie. And you're just like,
What? Yeah. Okay. I get it. I mean, yeah, because he was a villain in Usual Suspects and Seven, and
I mean, it's
I think
like
he's a villain
seeing
in-
them.
he's a
Like,
villain in-
I mean, like seeing
they kicked
them,
him
like,
off the show
lose.
he's doing.
Well,
But anyway,
There's a bigger. Here's
we're-
a bigger problem. It's bigger. The problem is bigger than the sex abuse thing because, that's horrible. But you look at it. This same attitude that allowed the sex abuse is the thing that killed that girl Sarah Jones down on that bridge in Georgia.
Right.
The
It's
assistant
the idea
camera
that
person.
if I complain, I'm going to get fired.
If I complain, I'm going to get fired. And also, it's sort of like
Yeah, it's
there are
disgusting.
rules, but I'm a filmmaker. I'm a director. So I don't have to listen.
Yeah.
The railroad company said you can't shoot on this bridge. But I need this shot, so we're going to do it.
And they weren't even
anyway.
shooting the real movie.
Yeah.
They were just practicing.
And
it was
then,
rehearsing.
What about, I tell you what, I have a problem with John Landis ever since that Twilight Zone
Mm.
movie. He violated the thing. He got away with it. But he treated it with so much contempt, the whole trial.
You guys know
and
that
everything.
story?
Yeah.
You can see that footage. He was telling them to go lower
know.
than it was supposed to. He killed Vic Morrow and those 2 kids.
I know.
And John Landis. Somebody
Twilight
I know
Zone
was going
movie.
to brought in
He
John
shot a
Landis
helicopter
as
scene, a Vietnam scene with helicopters.
And,
The actor had 2 kids in his arms, and he kept saying, "Lower the helicopter," and the helicopter crashed and took everybody's heads
killed
off.
the kids and
Yeah.
Vic Morrow. Vic Morrow's career was on the slide. Was like suddenly he's in a real movie again, and bam, that's
So
it.
it's You know, and again, does it affect how you watch that movie? Of course
Yeah,
it does.
it
'cause
does.
You're thinking about it.
And I won't watch a John Landis film. Somebody I knew was, she was so excited she was bringing John Landis in as an advisor on some project, and I didn't want.
On one of your projects?
No, but she was somebody I worked with.
I'm just making sure. Sorry, that might have been a
Yeah, that may have
premature
been
ring.
premature, but it's like I just didn't say anything, but I wanted to say.
Really, Sue? Animal House you'll never watch.
I watched the ones before he killed people.
Oh, okay.
I'll watch Animal House.
Well,
I'll
then
watch,
does that make the Chinatown okay to watch? Because that
That's
was
what I'm
before?
asking.
Well, that's why I watched Rosemary's
Forget
Baby. and
before. It doesn't
Chinatown.
matter that he did it before. He's a. proven-
Honestly, have Repulsion. That kind of grossed me out, that movie, because there's a whole like the woman's going crazy, and there's this whole like rape scene that keeps happening throughout, and it was I mean that got to me, but
I
whereas
didn't
like
see Repulsion, oddly enough.
whereas like Chinatown, I can.
Well,
I don't know.
But
what,
again, we're
what is
back
with-
to does the like you're saying you won't go see a Woody Allen movie. Obviously, you've made that, or John Landis even.
Yeah.
I mean, these new allegations are just it ruins everything. I'm
No,
sorry.
it really
just-
does.
I don't know
There's
what to.
gonna
I
be
don't
more
know.
people.
Okay, so
But I'll tell you one thing. I bet
We
it's
gotta
going
wrap
to
this up pretty
affect
quick.
Justice League when it comes out.
okay,
with,
I don't care about superhero
and
movies.
X-Men movie,
I'm going to
the
honestly
next
say that
X-Men
I
movie.
don't care about superhero movies. So, Marathon Man,
I liked it.
I did too. I loved it,
Yeah,
even with Dustin Hoffman in it.
yeah.
Hassan
I liked it.
liked it. We don't give ratings, right? We're not going to rate things.
No.
Just okay.
I thought
No,
we were
gonna
doing
give it
barrels.
No, but we were, but now it's
I thought it was a
I'm going to
great.
give it. I'm going to give it 4 out of 4 podcasts.
No, I'll give it. Okay, if we want to do the yellow barrels based on the old Jaws, you're going to need a bigger boat.
I'm going to give it 4.
I'm going to say 4 yellow barrels
Yeah, 4 yellow.
Out of 4?
out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm going to give it. I thought it was 4 barrels. So.
No, it's 5. What
well,
are
they
you
only
saying,
put
5 out of
3
5
barrels. Yeah, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. I'm saying 4 out of 5.
I'll give it 4.
Wow.
3.5.
All right, 3.5 barrels. There it is. So Al has the next movie.
We can't
Can't wait to
I
hear
can't wait
this
to
one.
find out what it is.
Me
He
neither.
also has the last movie.
not the
The
last,
one that we just.
the last set.
No, I was thinking like the last one because we might air this one after.
Oh, don't.
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
That's a
you
little
let
behind the
behind
scenes.
You let him
We're
see
gonna
the
edit-
man behind
oh,
the curtain.
We're gonna edit that
Don't
later.
pay attention to
All right, so that's another
You
edition.
know what? I
done.
really loved when we did Al's movie.
We did that already.
Yeah,
That
we
was
already
awesome.
did it. That's
We
what I mean.
got
I
5
loved
barrels
Al's
on that one. All right, we'll see everybody later.
That's
on
what
the
I was
next one.
thinking.
Over and out. Thank you.
See ya.